Callahan. Dave, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Glad to be here.
We get a chance to visit before activities of the council, and the Jackson County Fair is one of those big events for you guys.
For the last, I think 5, maybe 6 years, we've brought the Vietnam Traveling Wall, the Michigan Traveling Wall, into the fairgrounds. And that is a wall that specifically has names of people from Michigan that were killed in the Vietnam War. 2,662 names. We've already brought it in on Thursday, so that could be here on Thursday and Friday for Veterans Day. But this year we're bringing it in on Sunday. I've been told that if we brought it in on Sunday, more people would be able to enjoy it at the fair. Also, we would be able to get a larger motorcycle escort to bring it through town. So we'll see how that goes. I'm being told 250 to 300 motorcycles. Yesterday I actually heard 600. So I don't know what to expect. Probably end up with 50.
Last year was raining, and it was a Thursday morning.
Yeah. But that's the trailer. You'll see that thing coming through town with that red pickup truck pulling it. And I've confirmed today that we're going to have a Vietnam era Dodge pickup truck. It's like a power wagon, but they call it an M37 or something, towing a 105 howitzer also in escort. So Terry Pitts is going to bring that along and let us keep that on display at the fair. So we're going to try something new and see if we can get more people involved and more of a reception. So we'll be setting that up. We have to be done by noon, so we'll have them at the fairgrounds probably 10:30 or so. We're going to leave the Holiday Inn Express out on O'Neill at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll run, we'll see where we run. Right now it's up in the air with the city police department what we get to do. So we're going to run somewhere through town, I think, somewhere or another. But you know, where the railroad bridge is closed on Jackson and Mechanic, it's kind of hard to figure. So right now, tentatively, I'm looking at coming across Washington and coming up Cooper and then back to Ganson that way. See if that works out.
Well, your motorcycles, you could probably sneak through somebody's backyard.
Yeah, wow, they can. Actually, one of the sergeants from the city told us to consider coming down Wildwood and then come right in front of Jackson High, and then we'd be able to make a better transition coming through town. The second sergeant I talked to thought maybe if we came left and went through Louis Glick that way around, it would make a better transition through town. So we'll see what they let me do tomorrow, or hopefully this afternoon yet. Then they had the idea last night that it had to be something with the DDA had to be involved with it, and I said, why? We're just driving through town. It's not a separate event. So I'm always one of those guys that's easier to ask forgiveness than it is for permission. You know? So
when we have the route firmed, we'll have it on JTV and on our website.
I can email you and let you know for sure.
Please do. And we'll see you Sunday. Lining the route to honor those whose names are on the wall, the traveling wall. How many from Jackson County?
54.
Wow. And we don't add names, but there are veterans who die every day from injuries or cancer caused during
After
the war.
the fact, because of Agent Orange or whatever, that way, absolutely. Those don't. This is a specific monument to those that were actually killed in Vietnam. We haven't gotten to that point of doing something. We've been thinking about with the council, how do we do this? How do we honor those that have passed because of service-connected issues or other exposures? We got the burn pits coming up now with the Iraq-Afghanistan war, and even with World War II, you know, POWs that passed. So we don't know quite how to handle that yet. It's in the beginning stages. But in Washington D.C., right across the plaza from where the actual Vietnam Wall is, there's a monument, or near where the nurses' monument is, for those that have passed because of other issues, Agent Orange exposure or whatever.
So this will be on display all week at the fair, and that's good. You're right.
We're in the new Fair Events building, same place we were last year. Vietnam Veterans Chapter 109 is going to have their equipment display like they used to do with the school presentations, and we're going to have a couple other things coming up our sleeve too. They're going to surprise some people, I think. But we actually are having an enlistment ceremony right now. We have 5 or 6, depending on one more We haven't heard anything from the Marine Corps yet as far as have they have anyone, but Thursday afternoon, which is one of the 2 Veterans Days, where all veterans get in free on Thursday and Friday, the 11th and 12th. So they have to show that they actually had active duty. But we're going to do an enlistment ceremony with new enlistments then that day, probably early afternoon on Thursday. We haven't got all that nailed down quite yet either, but we're still working on it. I'll probably check my email right now. I'd have more information for you with that.
Well, that's a great idea, because usually it's just done in the recruitment office, isn't
Well,
it?
usually they go to Lansing, where the MEP station is what they call it. Don't ask me what that means, because that's the other end when you're going in, not when you're getting out. But yeah, they usually do that up there. And the commanding officer for the Army recruiters told me earlier in the year that he'd be happy to do it, and we're verifying that he still has time on his schedule right now for that. So we might be able to. It'd be really. We did it last year for the first time, and it was really well accepted. We had 12 new people going in. This year's a little bit different as far as enlistments and everything. You know, it's just been a slow year no matter what you're looking at. You can still blame it on COVID if you want. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's what the services have been telling us too. It's down all around.
It's down all around, and I think some of that too is if you have a position or a certain thing you want to enlist for, and there's not an opening yet, then you wait 6 months to get sworn in, and then you go to your school. So who
That
knows?
makes sense.
The guys are really great. I get along with them all real well, and they've been really interested in helping us figure this out. So all the recruiting stations have been real involved.
Very good. All right, we'll see you Sunday, August 7th, the Run to the Fair. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Bart. Glad to be here.
Jackson County Veterans Council and Dave Wallahan. Well, that's it. Thanks to Dave.